is.
You feel it just when you push the accelerator down.
Michael, it looks like he's going to ram us.
You feel it coming toward the ramp. You're up in the air, you feel like you're up there 15 seconds. Realistically, you're probably in the air 3. The impact is horrible. That's the part that really hurts. You get so much adrenaline out of it. This adrenaline push is just unreal, unlike anything you've ever felt.
If I had nerves, that would have been nerve-wracking.
With the kit car, we always wanted to jump higher, faster, longer, make it look more elaborate, do things that people hadn't seen before. Knight Rider was in a city, so we decided let's do car jumps in a crowded city. Let's do them in, alley to alley, across cars, places where it was really, really a tight fit. And so it took a lot more technical knowledge to try and figure out, if I line up on a ramp and I'm off by a foot here, it's going to be off 10 feet on the other side. And if there's a building there, that's a bad thing. The way we started with the show was 2 cars, a computer car and a stunt car, and that was pretty much it. And the computer car, they wouldn't let me touch. I mean, it was strictly David gets in this and gets out of it, and he gets to drive it, and nobody else gets in this car. We had one shot we were doing where David wanted to drive our hugely expensive computer car around the corner, and I said, no, let's just put him in a stunt car. And they said, we've already loaded all the stunt cars. They're already on the car carrier going to the next location. All we have is this computer car. Can he drive that one? And I said, yeah, he can drive it great, but it's not set up like our stunt cars. And they said, well, that's all we have. He's just going to come around the corner fast, and that's all it is. So I said, okay, great. And we're sitting there, and here comes David around the corner, and he's flying. And I went, oh, no.
Jack Gill was my stunt guy, and we became really close friends, and he was really, he really took great pride in showing me how to drive. And so we went out to the Saugus Speedway and just took the car out and learned how to do 180s, and 360s, and how to go around the corner really quickly and fishtail out and turn back into the turns.
I was trying to keep him from getting hurt, but then trying to show him as much as we could to make him look like he was doing all these big, huge stunts. And after about 6 to 8 episodes, David was a great car driver. I mean, he could really handle the car. The problem was we didn't want to get him hurt. And so even for the jumps, I couldn't put him in any of the jumps, but for sliding around corners and coming in fast, David was the guy.
All right, get in here fast.
When Kit drives up by himself, I designed a car that would drive from the right, and I would be hidden inside the seat, and I could drive up quickly, slam on the brakes, David could jump in, and we could drive out in one shot. And the only problem that came out of that is David and I fought over who was driving once he got in the car. It was always, let go of the wheel, I've got it. And I'd say, no, I'm driving, you act. And he's saying, I'm in the car, I want to drive. The good part about that was that I'm hidden in the seat and I can hit him anytime I wanted.
I would have been here sooner, but you didn't tip the valet.
We got different kinds of cars to do different things. One would do 160 miles an hour and one was 0 to 60 in 3 seconds. And I had a car that would jump long distances and a car that would jump small distances and cars that were set up for dirt, cars that would do burnouts really well. We had a car with a big engine and a nitrous system in it, so I could really just take off just like that. There was always one big master stunt for each episode, and every one of them was life-threatening. It's not to say that accidents don't happen on the set, they always do, and we were never virgins with that either. We had a lot of cars that got crashed, and only because you're jumping a car an extreme amount of distance and dropping 4,000 pounds to the cement and compressing your spine. And that's why I now have this titanium plate in my neck, is from all the whiplash. But, knock on wood, we never had any major injuries, not at all.
Gotta try it sometime, you'll like it. I'll catch you later.
Knight Rider was a testing ground for all of us. When Kit or David had to back out of that moving semi, we did that real. I only had 3 inches on either side of the mirror to back it out. And once you backed it out, you're going down the road at 50 miles an hour. You had to be in neutral, and you backed it out. When the rear wheels touched, you then put it in drive, let the van go away, and then lock it up and throw a big 180 and go the other direction. It was pretty tough. And every now and then I'd rip a mirror off.
What a neat car.
The most fun that I ever had was seeing kids that come up that think this car can really drive itself. And so I would go hide. I'd go around to the backside of David's motorhome and get in the seat and cover myself all up. David Hasselhoff would say, okay, kid, come on. And there'd be 50 kids standing around, and I'd come flying around the corner and stop. And he'd say, come a little closer, back up, and we'd play the whole thing out. We had a bunch of kids that had gotten off the school bus and came running over to see the car. Well, they had just seen this episode of a bunch of thugs coming in and beating on the car with baseball bats, and there was absolutely no damage. Well, these kids come over to the car and start kicking it and bashing it and beating on it, and it's denting.
Having fun now?
Yeah.
I grew up with it. I found my wife, on Knight Rider, and it was amazing. But with Knight Rider, we were really pushing the envelope on every single episode.
Kid, you there?
Where would I go?